Hey, Mark Davis in the wake of our Wednesday, November 7th show. So, how are you doing? There was an article once that I remember it was geared toward women in some women's magazine that said if a guy dumps you or if you're just feeling terrible, run out and find some little black dress, put it on, go out, you'll feel better. So if clothes really have that kind of healing redemptive value, that's my way of explaining the Texas shirt today. I looked in the closet and I said, let's wear something emblematic of the Lone Star State. Yes, the state of Texas, where we at least still value limited government, lower taxes, and a pro-business atmosphere, because it appears the country no longer does. All right, I don't want to drown you in bad blood or sour grapes or anything like that, because my dad always told me win with grace and lose with resiliency. Yeah, but see, funny thing was, I thought this would be win with grace day. Didn't work out. Nothing worked out. President Obama wins a second term. Our Republican attempts to win the Senate. I mean, in a way, thank God that wasn't close. Because if we had come, let's say, one seat away from reclaiming the Senate, and it was Todd Akin losing to Claire McCaskill, I'd probably just jump off a building. So in all seriousness, though, I'm not going to be jumping off of anything. I'm not going to get all bummed out. And in fact, I'm not even going to share some of the thunk and deep despair that I got on the show this morning. Understandably, I didn't try to, talk to, of course, I was talking people off the ledge, but I wanted to give people the elbow room to have their moment, or maybe more than one moment, of despair, angst, whatever, because this stinks. This stinks in 12 languages. This is terrible. This was a winnable election, and we didn't win it. Why? I don't know, and admit it, you don't either. There are a lot of things that we think. It's time that we'll all second guess. We'll wring our hands. We'll say maybe another candidate could have won. And I don't know that that's true. I'll tell you one thing I'm not going to sit here and do the morning after. I'm not going to bag on Governor Romney. I said that this would be a campaign that would be a pleasant surprise to me, and it was. And admit it was to many of you too. I'd say what let's do. Rather than speak ill of Governor Romney, who I believe gave it his best shot, let's start 2016 talk right now, shall we? And I don't mean specific personalities, Ryan and Rubio. Whoops, was that out loud? I mean instead some broad characteristics. How about we try this? How about we just try this? We tell the consultants and the establishment and all these people who try to force feed us nominees, we tell them to take a long walk off a short pier. We get behind one consistent, solid, upbeat, unapologetic conservative, find that man or woman and ride that train to a nomination that is not some big mess like Romney, Gingrich, Santorum, and everything was this time. Oh, and by the way, Newt could not have won, so relax on that. And I love Rick Santorum. I don't know if he could have won either. And there may be a lesson in that for 2016. I love Rick Santorum. One of the things I love about Rick Santorum is his courage in speaking moral, even biblical truths when asked direct questions. Yeah, funny thing about that. You lose when you do things like that, apparently. And without even getting to Todd Akin and his junior obstetrician shingle that he's hung that one day, let's go to Richard Murdoch, the Indiana guy who lost. He spoke moral truth in talking about the very hard to negotiate intellectual philosophical point about even when there is a life created by the horror of rape or incest, that you don't go extinguishing that life because you never know exactly what is or is not God's will. That immediately enabled people to go, this guy thinks rape is sanctioned by God. So maybe if there's a lesson we've learned, one of many, it is, there's a thing I learned in church a long time ago. When you speak, let everything you speak be truth, but not all truth needs to be spoken. You follow me here? I mean, maybe there are things from abortion to contraception, even some points about immigration. I mean, I heard all this thing about, well, Obama wanted, women and Hispanics. Well, what are you going to do for women and Hispanics? It makes me crazy. Women, Hispanics, blacks, Eskimos. That's not what Republicans do. We are not the ones who create special constituencies and carve out special helpings of pablum and say, this is what we're going to do for you. You know what I want to do for blacks, Hispanics, women, Asians, Eskimos, people from Mars, whoever's here? I want to reduce their taxes. I want to get government regulation off their back. tax. I want to give them more liberty, let them keep more of their money, and give them a nation free of risk from terrorism as best I can. That's what I want to do. Of people of every race, both sexes, however many sexes we have now, that's what I want to do for everybody. Is that so bad? Well, the short answer is no, but the rub lies in how we describe it and how we make the pitch. I want strong borders and strong immigration laws, but maybe it's my job to realize that my thirst for deportation may not really work real well at the ballot box right now. And it's a mystery to me. Why are law-abiding Hispanics so desirous of, fellow Hispanics to hang out with that they are lackadaisical about whether they come in legally or illegally? I'm a gringo, and it infuriates me about illegal immigration. You know what would make me even angrier? If I were from Mexico, Nicaragua, Cuba, anywhere, and I got here legally, and here are people who look like me with names like mine trying to get in and cut in line, breaking the law. That would drive me insane. Why isn't that the model? Why doesn't it work out that way? I don't know. And then don't get me started on women's issues. Really? How insulted are women how much are women willing to be insulted? Apparently plenty, ladies, because rather than be told that a woman's issue is, the ability to get a job if you want one, protecting your children and yourselves, your families from terrorism, more liberty, equality of opportunity. Oh no, it's all about abortion on demand and whether we can drop contraceptives like M&Ms for free, paid for by other people, into every one of your purses. That's a woman's issue? Really? That's the status quo of womanhood today? I'd like to think differently. I'd like to think differently about a whole lot of things in our country after this election. I'd like to think that we are an electorate that still values liberty rather than having that love of liberty morphed into something that's just different. I mean, there's that old adage, there's the Margaret Thatcher line, the problem with socialism is you eventually run out of other people's money. And there's the other one that I don't know enough to attribute right now that says that democracy gets into serious trouble as soon as one portion of the electorate learns that it can vote for and receive largesse from the other part of the population. And we may be at that tipping point. That may be where we are. But to wrap this up, because I'm already long, but hey, I got a lot of material to cover. To wrap it up, this morning, they're all down in the dumps. It's like, oh my gosh, the Republic is lost. No, the Republic has been dealt a blow. It is not lost. I'm going to go Churchill on you. We will never surrender. We will keep at it, whatever the cost may be. And if the second term of Barack Obama brings a newly cooperative guy who just exudes leadership, great. I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to hear it. But if it's just more bad ideas, you know what I want from the few Republicans who are left? To stand in the way of those bad ideas, be the party of no, obstructionist, whatever you want to talk, whatever you want to call it. That's exactly what we need to do. We need to fight for things we believe in. Don't ever surrender on core values. There is no more noble thing you can do. There's no more positive thing you can do than stand in the way of a bad idea. And if a Democrat Senate and a second term of President Obama, if all they give us is bad ideas, I want my Republican representatives standing there in the way. I'll be in a radio studio standing in the way. I want you as listeners, viewers, to be there to stand in the way of bad ideas. No surrender on core values. Elections come and go. The Republic, it'll last as long as we stay vigilant. So let's stay vigilant. Pick your chins up, saddle up. More battles to fight. Let's ride. Let's do it together. Thanks for hanging out on the show. Mark Davis Show, 7 to 10 on 660 AM The Answer.